You find yourself lost in Irvingland. Last time, our heroes escaped from a planet run by cybernetic machines that wanted to enslave them, but the machines fired a rather nasty missile at them. Quick evasive action made the missile impact on a nearby planet. If anybody lived down there, they probably don't now.
Oh dear! Hang on. We've been blown apart!
Our crew might not either in a few minutes. Something in that impact, giant flare, and all the rest knocked out the navigation system. They're about to land on this planet whether they like it or not, and it's not going to be a soft landing. Worse, there's no time to strap in. Everybody has to get down on the floor and hope for the best.
Just before we hit, I'll fire the retro rockets.
You'll overload the circuits, they'll blow.
We've got to risk it. John, you better get down on the floor with the others. That's an order.
As we finally learned in the movie, when it comes to a situation like this, Major West, the military pilot, gives the orders. And in this incarnation, John respects that and does what he's told.
Here we go!
I thought he said he was firing them just before they hit. He may have miscalculated. They'll keep drifting like that clear through the opening credits. I can't decide if Don really miscalculated, if the retro rockets didn't work, or if they slewed the ship onto that lateral course instead of bringing it straight down to try and soften the landing. Fooled you. The answer is we have runtime to fill. It was a trick question. The ship is in bad shape. And where are they? There's too much fog outside to tell anything yet.
Hardly a land of milk and honey. Of that we may be sure.
You never can tell, Dr. Smith. There's some sort of fogged-in hollow. Outside it might be just like Earth.
My dear boy, in all the universe, there is no other planet as wonderful as our own Earth, and how I wish I were there now.
We'll get back to Earth, Dr. Smith. I know we will.
By that time, I shall be a bearded, crotchety old man.
As opposed to the delightful little ray of sunshine that you are now.
Well, we've got plenty of work ahead of us.
Work? What an unpleasant word. May I make a suggestion? Before we start our labors, shouldn't we go out and have a look at our new and hopefully temporary home?
That wouldn't be a very good idea, Smith.
For all they know, the fog is poisonous. They can't send the robot out because it could also be corrosive. John will run some tests from inside where it's safe.
I see. And how long will your test take, may I ask?
About 3 or 4 hours.
3 or 4 hours? Do you mean to say we have to remain cooped up in this damaged hulk all that time?
Oh, please. He sounds like people in America right now. As I'm writing this, I'm laying as low as possible thanks to the current pandemic. I'm also watching huge collections of idiots going out, breaking the quarantine, exposing themselves and others because somebody wants a haircut. Hey people, it's just hair. My wife took a clipper with a number 4 guard and did mine, and it looks just fine. It's not worth risking your life and your hairdresser's life, and if you think it is, please re-examine everything you've ever based your life on. But stay home while you do it!
Inside the Jupiter 2, we're safe. And no one goes outside until I'm sure the same conditions prevail.
Surely that doesn't apply to me.
Don is only too happy to explain that it applies especially to Smith, since he is just about always the one who gets into trouble because he rushed into things he didn't understand.
Trapped in this metallic cage. While out there could be green grass, babbling brooks, tall trees, or even a highly advanced civilization with the means of sending us back to Earth.
He sure changed his tune in a hurry.
Hardly a land of milk and honey. Of that we may be sure.
He's like a 3-year-old. He's not interested in facing whatever horrors might be out there until someone tells him he can't. Then he's determined to do so. Instead, over both the robot's and Will's objections, he sends the robot out to analyze the atmosphere and all the rest.
Out!
Dr. Smith, you will regret this.
Ah! Send back a detailed report of everything your sensors pick up. Well, what are you waiting for? Go.
Why do they let him get away with that? The robot is no longer programmed only to obey him, so it doesn't have to do what he says. It has the capability to refuse. All Will has to do is hop downstairs and get his dad, and Smith's plan is kaput. Instead, they'll stand there and let him push his ideas onto the robot and everyone else, and it never turns out well. And let me point out one other thing.
Dr. Smith, you will regret this.
He just opened both the inner and outer doors of that airlock. He's letting the outside atmosphere into the ship while they stand there talking. I can't believe neither Will nor the robot picked up on that.
Dr. Smith, are you sure you know what you're doing?
Of course I am.
Considering the way he handled those airlock doors, I think we know the answer. Besides, doesn't he always? The robot reports that the oxygen level in the air can sustain human life, but the air is also full of cosmic dust, so he recommends breathing apparatus. He can't see much else.
Wait, I see something.
What is it?
I cannot be sure. In a moment. The fog. It's only...
Continue, you idiot! What do you see?
Stand back. I will destroy.
Robot, come in if you're all right. Answer at once.
I repeat, why do they keep letting Smith do this sort of thing? Neither Will nor the robot ever seems to learn. I know Will likes Dr. Smith in spite of everything, but that doesn't mean he has to sign off on every crazy scheme Smith comes up with. In fact, as often as not, the best way Will could be a friend to Smith would be to kick him in the knee and tell him to shut up and listen. He has every excuse in the world as usual, and he's sure the robot just developed some minor malfunction. Typical Dr. Smith fare, and all of it suitable for fertilizing your garden.
You knew my orders. No one was to leave the spaceship.
No one did. I merely sent the robot out. Surely there's nothing objectionable about that.
Except that John explicitly told you not to, and the robot reminded you of that order. The robot is more essential to their survival than Dr. Smith could ever be, so they have to find out what's wrong and get him back.
Oh, John, you're not going outside, are you?
No. But Dr. Smith is.
Aye?
Well, you sent the robot out, you're going to bring him back.
Smith will crank the whining up to 11 for this one, but it's not going to help. He appeals to Maureen, who's always had compassion for him and concern for his delicate back.
I'd like to help you, Dr. Smith, but someone has to get the robot, and you're responsible.
They give him a breathing mask and a gun and take him to the airlock.
But let me tell you, Major, you're making a serious mistake, and I shall never forgive you.
That's the most sense he's made all day. What's the point of having that airlock if they keep opening it that way? This is just weird. It's the same way with baby birds. Sometimes mom has to push them out of the nest to get them to fly.
Alone. Always alone. And I'm frightened.
After we let Jonathan Harris have some fun with his character and it's wonderfully annoying, he discovers that the fog is all concentrated around the ship. Beyond a small perimeter, the air is fine. That's probably what the robot was starting to say when he was cut off. That means the fog is artificial. Now the questions are who and why.
The most wonderful thing has happened, Professor.
You found the robot?
I've discovered something even more interesting. We no longer have to worry about... Stay away from me, I warn you!
Smith, what is it? Smith! Smith, can you have it?
We won't get any answers from that thing. Dr. Smith, I mean. The big hairy thing that sounds like a badly made goose call starts dragging him away.
Something terrible's happened to him. I just know it. If only we hadn't made him go out.
Oh, no, Will. No, somebody had to do it. And Dr. Smith knew that no one, not even the robot, was allowed outside.
But it didn't make any difference to him. No, Will, he deliberately disobeyed orders.
Well, I know what he did was wrong, but But that's Dr. Smith.
Exactly. That's been the problem this whole expedition.
You just can't expect him to act like everyone else.
Well, I do, son. Especially when he endangers the welfare of the rest of us.
I guess you're right, Dad.
I want to hear Will explain why they can't expect him to act like everyone else, especially when it comes to obeying orders. I know he thinks he and Dr. Smith are friends, but anyone who thinks there's one set of rules for them and another set of rules for everyone else isn't your friend, and they will turn on you and betray you. Smith has done it to Will several times already, and Will keeps coming back. My suggestion? Take him back to the Green Mist. At least he'd have a girlfriend there. Everyone goes to bed except Will. He wants to stay by the radio a while longer.
Dr. Smith?
Yeah, his radio's broken, so he's communicating by Morse code on the hull of the ship. It's been a while, but I believe he just pounded E, E, E.
E.
Great.
That's not Dr. Smith.
Dr. Smith? Is that you? I've just gotta go look for him.
If you didn't see that coming, give yourself 2 demerits. He's past the fog and he's recording everything he sees so he can report it all to his dad later.
It seems to be some sort of sticky growth. I wonder what its purpose is. If anything stepped on it, it'd be stuck and couldn't get out. Now I see. It's a trap for the spider.
Go away from Sunbeer! Go away! Not her, Sunbeer!
Irwin Allen. Irwin at Sherwood Schwartz. Sherwood, hey, how's it going? Not bad, how about you? Getting along. My Lost in Space show's doing great. How's that little sitcom of yours doing? Not as good as I'd hoped. In fact, that's why I'm calling. I need some kind of monster for my cave people to fight off. I was wondering if any of your cast-offs might fit the bill. Well, let's see. I got a bog monster I won't be using again. That's a mite too scary. I suppose a werewolf is out then. Yeah, probably. What about that delivery boy that looks like the creature from the Black Lagoon? He's out on a job. Nuts. Well, I guess I'll... Hold on. How about a spider? How big? About the size of a Labrador Retriever. Of course, when Will Robinson sees it, it's more the size of a bulldozer. How much? Quick as I'm done with it, it's yours. Thanks. I owe you one. Yes, you do. Okay, Imogene, here's how it's going to go.
Don't come another step or I'll shoot. I'm warning you!
Sherwood Schwartz. Sherwood, it's Irwin. You misplaced the spider? No, nothing like that. I need a favor. I need some kind of monster about man-sized but really goofy. I figured you might have something like that. Ever heard of a cuckoo bird?
I'm Will Robinson from the planet Earth. Pleased to meet you, sir.
Who cares what your name is or where you came from? Stay there or I'll shoot.
You're making a mistake, sir. I'm a friend.
You are an invader and an enemy. That's what you are.
No, sir. Our spaceship was damaged and we had to...
Silence! Don't waste my time with any of your lies.
I know him.
Another old saying that is not always true, Billy, is never look a gift horse in the mouth.
How the mighty have fallen. He says, I have your friend and that spy machine of yours too. You're all my prisoners. My superiors will want to question you.
There are more aliens on this planet?
Thousands of us are mobilized. We are all armed and prepared to resist attack. One more thing. I'm not an alien. You're the stranger here. Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
That was a bit earthist of you, Will. Captain Tiabo there takes him to Dr. Smith and the robot. His little pet is stationed outside the entrance.
Good heavens, what's this? Our host hasn't supplied any food for us to eat, but he's certainly provided a most marvelous beverage to drink. Would you like some, my boy?
No, thank you. Do you really think you should?
Of course I should. I think I'll have a sip right now.
He likes to forget that it was this kind of recklessness that got him into this mess in the first place.
Nice.
Warning! Warning!
What is it?
I advise caution in drinking the liquid. Its contents have not been analyzed.
Nonsense, you nervous ninny. I've just had some and I feel perfectly fine.
He says, it's very good. Guess what? It's more than good.
There's something about this drink. Once you start, you can't stop.
How can you be thirsty at a time like this?
Oh, believe me, Will, I'm just as worried as you are, but I always get extremely thirsty in times of danger.
It's addictive. The more you drink, the thirstier you get. But that's not important right now.
This is Captain Tiabo at Military Outpost 77D calling Supreme Staff Headquarters. I have information of a vital nature to transmit to General Andos concerning the vicious sneak attack of our beloved homeland. You read me, Supreme Headquarters? Over.
We are receiving you, Captain Tiabo.
I have captured 3 of the enemy invaders.
Well done, Captain. The General will be pleased.
Thank you, sir. Would the General care to question the prisoners now?
A moment. I shall inquire.
My compliments, Captain Tiabo. Thank you, sir. The prisoners are ready to be questioned.
He says, our secret weapon will take care of everything. Pardon me, but those are all the same guy. Will noticed it too. More significantly at the moment, the robot has detected that the big hairy bird isn't outside anymore. They can get away.
I've got that funny feeling again, Dr. Smith. Something's wrong. It's too easy.
Nonsense, the monster is gone. It's as simple as that. Now come along, we mustn't waste time, Will. Come along.
Come on, robot.
He's still guzzling that stuff non-stop. I hope he's wearing a Depends. Or maybe he isn't, and that's why he's in such a hurry to stop and rest.
I think I'll have a little drink. Would you like some?
No, thank you.
Well, it's just as well, since there's only a drop left. There's no need to carry this any longer. Hold this for a moment, my boy.
Now that he already drank all of it, Smith is ready to let the robot analyze the tiny bit left in the cup.
What have I been drinking?
A liquid high explosive.
What?
You are filled with an extremely dangerous beverage. I suggest that Dr. Smith be kept at a safe distance from the others.
Why?
Because it is possible that he may blow up at any moment.
And we're not just talking about his ego. I suppose inducing regurgitation is out of the question. Now I'm really wondering what happens when it comes out the other end.
Poor Dr. Smith. All he does is sit on a rock and stare off into space.
Bring him some coffee, some tea, something caffeinated, anything to speed up the process.
According to my calculations, he must stay 50 yards away from all members of this party.
Are you sure there's a chance of him blowing up?
The answer is positive. Dr. Smith has consumed 1.5 quarts of explosive. That gives him a concussion power of 15 sticks of dynamite.
I once blew up a granite boulder the size of this chair with 3 sticks. I think the robot is underestimating how far away they need to be.
Well, Dr. Smith isn't our only problem. We've got to get this force field working. Let's give it a try. All right?
My encyclopedic knowledge of science tells me that wasn't supposed to happen. They're trying to come up with some kind of defense before the aliens launch their secret weapon and their armies and all the rest. Meanwhile, Dr. Smith is lonely and would like somebody to talk to, but he has to keep his distance. Now, if you're wondering why they don't give him a radio so he can talk to people that way, you'll have to ask someone else, because I don't know. It's night and there's still no sign of the aliens. Maureen made some food for Dr. Smith and Will is taking it to him. The robot will go along to make sure they maintain proper social distancing.
If only I could think of something to take to neutralize that explosive.
You mean like an antidote?
The aliens might have a cure.
Of course. If there is a neutralizer, the aliens would have it.
So of course that means Will has to go find Captain Tiabo and beg him for something that will neutralize his explosive. And of course it means he has to go alone right now, not even the robot to have his back. And of course Will agrees. And just to be sure, he orders the robot to keep quiet about it. At Tiabo's headquarters, he can't seem to find the good captain. But he's finding pieces of all those other guys.
As Emperor of this planet, I give you this final warning. Leave this planet immediately or face certain death and destruction.
Sorry, Tiabo, you're busted. Will says, I had a feeling when all those guys looked like they should be celebrities on Hollywood squares.
You're all alone on this planet, aren't you?
I thought I could frighten you away.
And that secret weapon was the liquid explosive you gave Dr. Smith to drink, wasn't it?
I thought he would explode on the spaceship and I'd be rid of you.
But why? I told you we were friends.
For over 200 years, this planet has been my home. I've been alone and I've been happy.
Okay, so there really was a secret weapon, stupidity. He's a hermit. He's afraid they'll bring civilization and all that crap with them, and that's what he came here to get away from.
Please believe me, Mr. Tiabo. We're going to leave as soon as our spaceship is repaired. And I'm sure this planet is big enough for all of us until that time.
Well, yes, I guess it is. I'll just gather my belongings and move to the other side of the planet. Then we won't be in each other's way.
Or you could stay where you are and they could stay where they are, and when they leave you can still be where you are and they aren't where they are anymore and you have the planet to yourself again. But after 200 years alone here, he may not be able to process something like that. Will says, first I need the antidote to the stuff you gave Dr. Smith. He didn't give it to him, Dr. Smith just took it. Tiabo gives him some tablets and says, tell him to take a handful of those. The robot has his own antidote in mind. He hooks the wires to the toe of Smith's shoe and his belt buckle. Smith is kind of slow to grasp what's going on.
Now what are you doing?
For the good of all involved, I am going to detonate you, Dr. Smith.
Lovely. Thank you very much. Goodbye. You're going to blow me up?
It must be done for the good of all concerned.
You can't. Stop that this minute, you hear?
Take the wire off your belt.
Will somebody help me? Help me, somebody!
See that wire? Go like this.
It must be done.
Wait a minute! Wait a minute! I got a neutralizer!
Just disconnect the wire. Break the circuit. You know what that means, Doctor. You too, Will. The first thing he should have done was rip that wire off Dr. Smith and throw it away. Smith eats the pills, then the robot says there's only one way to be sure they worked.
I didn't explode.
In the coming weeks, however, his addiction to electrical genital stimulation got pretty ugly.
You wouldn't really have detonated him, would you?
How could you think I would have? I have a great affection for Dr. Smith. He is my mentor, as well as a great, decent human being, and a credit to our expedition.
Well, then why are you still carrying the detonator?
Oh, am I?
Or maybe he's thinking about using Will as a jibba-jabba for spoiling his fun. Later on, the robot, Dr. Smith, Penny, and Will are out with scanners looking for... What are they looking for again?
What you're reading?
Quartz conglomerate, cobalt magnesium, 005%.
That's not very good. Don says it has to be 1% at least, or it won't work.
Oh yeah, cobalt magnesium. They need it because... Why do they need it again?
Dr. Smith, we have to find some. Unless we can get the purifier to work on the plants, our food supply won't last a week.
Oh, right. Something about food.
Oh. Zachary Smith has never been the one to slacken where the welfare of the group is at stake. Oh.
Dr. Smith, is something wrong?
Yes, his allergy to work is flaring up again. They help him sit down against a rock so he can take a nap and sleep off the symptoms.
You silly goose.
It's the cuckoo bird in his winter plumage.
I told you to go away with your electronic mumbo-jumbo.
My mistake, it's a Yeti. Whatever became of the cuckoo bird? In many ways, the robot foreshadowed Commander Data from Star Trek The Next Generation. Part of Data's composition involved growing to become more than he started out to become more human, as he put it. Last episode, we really started to see our robot experiencing the same kind of growth. In that instance, he learned to lie. He already knows how to laugh. He's done it at Dr. Smith many times. This episode, we see him making a unilateral moral choice to sacrifice one for the good of the many. The big step in his growth isn't in the moral choice, but in the unilateral nature of it. which is to say, as a service machine designed with specific purposes in mind, something that goes beyond those purposes, such as making a moral choice, is something the machine would naturally run by the other humans to determine if it's a good choice by human standards. He didn't do that. And in that last scene, I think he's holding a grudge. It looks like he's becoming more human-like, but the human he's becoming like is Dr. Smith. He shouldn't do that. I'll see you next time you find yourself lost in Irvingland.